Try this for the third time. Maybe I'll stick around for this one too. Here's Larry. There we go. Zap.stream just need a little bit of a refresh themselves. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and let Larry talk.
I would get honest with the people and just say, look, you know, you've all fallen for a Keynesian lie, okay? I mean, this pedophile from England in the 1930s, you know, set up this system that is just a complete and utter fucking lie, which is that we have to print money in order to make things grow, in order to make the economy better. And by printing that money, we're stealing from your kids. But it doesn't matter because in the long run, you're all fucking dead. Well, guess what? That fucks your kids. And the guy was an evil piece of shit. So the word Keynes ought to become just a dirty name, a dirty word. He ought to be like Hitler. I mean, people say, you know, people ought to compare him to Hitler, right? He's a bad fucking guy. And so, you know, if once you start there and you understand that, then you start to understand that actually sound money is what's in the Bible, what was in the Constitution, and what's good. And that because we've deviated away from sound money, we've, you know, caused ourselves enormous pain, heartache, and distress. We've killed millions of people in wars, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is the fundamental underlying fucking issue of the entire world right now, which is we've got to return to a sound money system before we blow each other up. I mean, it's just fucking obvious to anyone with half a brain that this is what we have to do.
Larry's pissed. I don't blame him one bit. And I think we have to have more people talking like that. And that's why we're doing this show, is because we have to expose what's happening in the world. And the reality is that a lot of people are just straight up sleeping on what's happening right now. But at the same time, it seems like every single day, more and more people are getting into Bitcoin. There's more lights turning on. And as that happens, we're moving into the, so here's the, I'll show you this. I hate showing shit on my notepad and trying to make you squint to see it. But okay, let me draw a bigger one here. Give me 1 sec. We don't do this very often on the show because I'm a pretty poor drawer. But let's do a little show here. Let's do a little drawing. Okay, so we got the typical graph at the top. What we're measuring on the, what's the y-axis or x-axis? I don't know. We're measuring trust, the one that goes up, and we're measuring time, the one that goes horizontally. And so we have fiat at the top and we have Bitcoin at the bottom. And so basically when Bitcoin came out, so this is how it starts. You got trust, time, Bitcoin, fiat there. So this is in 2008 when a lot of trust was lost. This is where I'm going to start this. So this is 2008. This is also when Bitcoin came out, 2009, right after the financial crisis. Coincidence? I don't know. But here's what's happening here. So at the top there, back in 2008, for the most part, I would say that the majority of people, especially in the Western world here in Canada and the US, had a lot of faith, a lot of trust in the governments and in our money. And over time here, it's slowly going down and down and down. And if you talk to anybody out there, I'm sure this is a good representation of their trust in the fiat world. So it starts at 2008 and it's slowly going over as more and more people realize the fiat scam, the Keynesian economics, the lies. As he said, a pedophile from England back in 1930 came up with this way to print more money to keep the economy going while stealing from everybody that's working in that system. And then we got Bitcoin back in 2008, 2009. Nobody really had a clue what it was. Nobody knew if they could trust it. They were arresting people for the Silk Road stuff. So the trust was very low because nobody knew what it was. And slowly over time, as there's more people like this within the chat here, doing shows, talking about Bitcoin, actually diving deep into Bitcoin and trying to understand what's happening here, the trust goes up. So there's my graphic that I came up with there. And I think that I don't know when this intercept is going to happen. It might have already happened, but Bitcoin will gain people's trust more than fiat. So Bitcoin started at 0 and it's slowly over time going up and up and up. And once we hit that intercept there, that's where everything changes. And so that's how I wanted to start this next part we're going to show here. This is from Bitcoin News as well. So big shout out to